Directors on February 18th,
You guys are live.
Oh, okay, so start over.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Groveland Council on Aging Board of Directors on February 18th, 2026. May I have a motion to open the meeting at 9:33?
Make-
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, let's go ahead and do introductions, please. Start with Barbara.
Barbara Sanborn, Vice Chair of the Board of Directors.
Laurel Pahalski, member of the board.
Irene Thomas, Secretary.
Deb Stevenson, Treasurer.
Sharon Hines, Chair.
Alyssa Lee, Director.
And do we have a member of the public? I don't know if he has to identify himself.
Okay, Larry McKinnon.
McKellen.
Thank you. All right. Mission statement. Deb, would you read that, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
The mission of the Council on Aging is to advocate for Groveland's older adults, to identify their needs, to develop and implement services to meet their health, economic, social, and cultural needs, to encourage maximum independence, and to improve their quality of life.
Thank you. All right. Moving on. Approval of the minutes for January, meeting minutes for January 21st, 2026. Any
I
discussion?
can't vote because I wasn't here.
Okay, thank
So
you.
we don't have a
You do
quorum.
4. You have 4 out of 7.
Oh, 4 out of 7, yes.
If you want
Thank
4 over here.
Right.
Okay. All in favor? All
We
right.
need to make a
I
motion.
make a motion to approve the minutes of January 21st, 2026. Second.
Second? Barbara, thank you. Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you. All right, on to director's report, and it is a fine one.
Yes, excellent.
Thank you.
Thorough.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was, I do really appreciate having the board meetings monthly to really be accountable and reflect on the past months. So, a lot of great things went on. We had over 1,300 interactions with the community in January, which was awesome. So all across services. Pantry gave away about 1,700 pounds of food, and again, over 100 members came in to use the pantry over the month, and we welcomed 8 new program participants. So it was interesting because, last time when we talked about December, it was a pretty full month. We had, a number of trips that happened. We had some holiday gatherings, so that was really great to see that while people were busy, they were still coming in December. And in January, if you remember, was a strikingly cold month. We had our luncheon that is normally at full capacity was, about half because it was literally freezing outside. I know people couldn't get out because of the ice outside their doors. But yet we still saw a really steady stream of interactions. Certainly shifted from holiday, social interactions to more of the essential interactions. So that was great to see. A new report this month I added in there was what the staff time looked like, and so that was pulled again from our database at my senior center, and that really looks at all of our one-on-one interactions that we do. So not necessarily the things outside. So we're still doing many things outside of this as well, but this looks at where our face-to-face or voice-to-voice interaction is for the community. And certainly, all as probably should be, no surprises there. That Liz's time as program coordinator, really focusing on logistics and registrations for programs. And Nisha's time as outreach and her role as assistant director is focusing, heavily on transportation benefits and other essential services. But it's a nice breakdown, including our van drivers, sort of where their interactions are lying too. Yeah.
It really is informative and clear and concise, and really like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't, it's one of those things, like I said, where you get used to doing the same thing over and over. And certainly we've always had this data. And I was like, why don't we use it to show you? So I'm glad you like it.
This was, when I read this, it was like, wow, okay, I see everyone's, what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I suspect it probably won't change too much month to month. A little variation here and there, but it'll be interesting to see over time. Absolutely. So what's coming up in the next couple of months? So the March-April newsletter has been shared via email and on Facebook and digitally. So those that have access to that are more than welcome to start registering. We do have the hard copies of the newsletters here. However, I do know that the Friends will be stuffing them with an insert. So we hope to get them distributed, by the end of this week, definitely by next Monday at the very latest, out for people to pick up. A lot of great programming. We have over 40 programs in March, so it's a pretty hefty month. In the past couple of months, we had, mid-30s, so this one is over 40. We'll see how that goes. And then noting that we're going to go ahead and start planning. Granted, you may not realize my internal calendar, but we're going to go ahead and start planning for May and June, which will bring us to the end of our fiscal year. And then ideally with staff set at this point in time, that we will hopefully plan and sketch out the year ahead, which I think will take off a huge burden on the every other month planning sessions we currently have right now. So that's what we're looking at in the next couple of months. And, my director's reflection, as you can tell, it was just a lot about how growth, particularly in this role, is just continuously learning, refining systems, as you've seen in this report, as you will see in professional development, but also just really key part being staying responsive to what the community needs are. So in regards to professional development, I've been selected by the MCOA, so that's Massachusetts Massachusetts Councils on Aging as a statewide cohort. So there's 6 participants selected. You did have to apply, and so we're doing it in pairs. So ultimately, just 3 sites will have this program. It is an evidence-based small group program, so really focusing on cognitive, structured activities, as opposed to our memory cafe, where it's there for care partner and the person living with dementia as just a pure moment of joy and connection. This one is structured, specifically focusing on cognitive skills for the person living with dementia. It is a co-facilitated model, so I will have a partner with me. Last I heard, it was going to be someone from the Topsfield COA. I believe she might be a board member or a volunteer. So she has a lot of experience with dementia, so looking forward to working with her. And, I just think overall we are really moving towards having a really great, well-rounded dementia programming here in Groveland, which I think is awesome to do. Any questions on the training itself?
I'd like to say congratulations. It's no surprise that you were chosen.
Your mic.
I'd like to say congratulations. it's no surprise that you were chosen due to, your love of learning, you're pushing forward, all the this amazing Council on Aging in Groveland.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it should be really great. So training starts in March. We don't have the full schedule yet. Again, it's fully covered by the MCOA. It will last through the training March, April, potentially through May. And then we have to implement 2 sessions of this CST therapy program between May of 2026 and May of 2027. I thought it was going to be really great timing, and I had put it in my proposal application that particularly with our engagement symposium potentially kicking it off, sometime after that, as there will be a lot of attendees there, to get word out for that too. So. So hopefully one in the summer, another one when we find the times relevant.
So if it's 2 events, Alyssa, and you're working with a partner, is one event located here and the other in the Topsfield area?
That would make sense to me, but haven't worked out haven't touched on any of those logistics at all. But yeah. I think probably, so one, that would make logical sense to me, but also is there a common ground meeting place, and knowing just like our programs here are open to other folks in surrounding communities, certainly, same would be wherever else we held it too. So, yeah. Then, just the other note is director certification. So again, this is something that the MCOA offers. You have to be at your COA for at least 2 years before you're eligible to complete the certification. At this point, I am eligible to do so. I'm here. I'm doing all the work, as I told Sharon. So I thought might as well start it. Andrea, the facilitator of the program, has been amazing. She actually gave me access to a lot of their information last year, and she did remind me, Alyssa, you told me you were going to do this. So here I am. But it should be great, and certainly you will be kept in the loop along the way. It should be completed by October.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. That
Yeah.
answered the question.
Okay. Yeah, that's the ideal plan. Is they don't have a firm end date, but I think most people tend to start, in February, and then the state conference is in October. Then they finish up there. So yeah. So upcoming, signature programs, Women's Day. I hope you all have the flyer. If you want more to post anywhere that you would like, it is March 8th, 2 o'clock at VC Park. It's free. Our featured speakers are Paula Esty, Executive Director and founder of the PEG Center in Newburyport. The PEG Center, she founded the PEG Center as an artist and activist, and her current charge is climate action, and she is really spearheading some great work and full community involvement in Newburyport in regards to climate action. Additionally, we're having Vanessa Lopez, director of the VC Memorial Park, because she is also doing some really amazing work right here in Groveland, from, rewilding to bringing people, just into VC Park to experience it however they wish, and really centering community on that. So those will be a couple of really wonderful women leaders in this space to hear from. So please join us for that and help us spread the word. Our volunteer luncheon, again, just putting it out there, FYI, it'll be April 23rd, 12 o'clock at the Black Swan. Invitations are coming out probably in early March. Yeah, that's that. Any questions, more than happy to answer. And then engagement celebration, as mentioned, started out with our past sponsors. So right now we do have 1,500 in hand, certainly working with others, to come in as well, and reaching out to new people. So if anybody has other suggestions and ideas for people we should connect to, always open to hearing those ideas. survey update, I know we'll get into it, but overall, 504 responses. We did hit that 500 mark, so that's awesome. And we can go over that after this. I think it's later on the agenda. In regards to the, service trends, I touched on it at the beginning, but, we were really shifted from holiday focus naturally to sort of the essentials in January. Support services made up almost over half of the interactions, 48%. Our wellness programming is continued to be strong, with everything from educational programs in regards to health and wellness to our physical programming. I would note that this past couple months we had trial lessons on Drums Alive, which is a fitness movement program, and we will be continuing that for a 6-week session starting in March. It's been an awesome program to see. So, yeah. Would you like to share anything, Laurel?
It's just so aerobic but fun and musical, and I felt like I was a child again. Or when I used to teach
Yeah.
preschool.
Yeah.
Free movement and go for it, and I
Well,
loved it. I could do it every day.
I think
I've
that
been doing things like this, put music on and start just moving around.
that touches on something I think really important. One, we always want to make sure, absolutely, and it's something that I really is a strong value for me, that we're offering programs that are respectful and offer, in a dignified way for our communities, because we're all adults and we all know what we want. However, play is such an important part of life, and so the fact that we are able to bring this in a meaningful way for the adults in our community is really great to see.
People come and say, I saw you drumming the other day. And I said, when you looked in the window, and they said, yeah. I said, why didn't you come in?
Right.
She said, I was wondering what that was. You looked like you were so happy.
Love it.
And just so people know, you don't have to be even standing up. You can do it in a chair. It's what you are able to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I happen to go all out.
Laurel's dancing in the middle there. It's good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Program though.
Yeah, so that was sort of the big trends in January. You will see our new participant highlights, that we, at this point from July 1st to now, we're about 18 to 19% of return people so far. Many of them, looking deeper into them, many of them are one-time, special events, like, they accompanied a spouse on a trip or for a luncheon and that kind of thing. So it's good to see that trend, but I also think now with this information, we will this month go back to those people. How was your experience? What else? What can we look forward to seeing with you next time? And that kind of thing. So it's good stuff. Budget is stable, nothing, unexpected, as mentioned last time, but now it's actually happened on the books. A Mass DOT grant has been fully utilized, so submitting that application, so that will get reimbursed soon for the $5,000. And that's about it for finance, unless there's any questions. Again, everything pretty standard there. Staffing, so as we know, we're hiring a new van driver, as Steve would like to depart in April as he's relocating. So we have 8 applicants for the van driver, pretty slim. It's 13 hours a week, 2 days a week. So to be expected. We have some really strong applicants, though, so those initial interviews are happening this week, and then the final interview would be that they come chat with myself, our assistant director, and do a driving test, and we'll take it from there. Certainly, the application process is still open. If anybody hears this and would like to apply, by all means, we would welcome it. And then lastly, just a huge appreciation. As mentioned, January was a pretty big month for winter weather. So Frank really went above and beyond during the winter storms, coming in a day before, many hours, early to come and make sure the van was prepared to go out during, for the day's runs. Also, a huge thank you to Steve, the facilities manager here at Town Hall, as, noting this, that Frank was doing so much. I figured there ought to be something we could do. And so Steve often plows the parking lot during storms. So now he will sort of be moving the van as he plows so that at least the van won't be plowed in, and that'll be one less thing, which was awesome to see already. I didn't mention it in the report, but that was my fault. I really wanted to thank the Friends of the COA for providing gift cards for Riverside Pizza and Nick's as an incentive for community members to help shovel walkways or driveways for older adults in our communities. We're just really struggling to find volunteers to help out in our community. So it is our aim through the Friends support to maybe incentivize that a little bit to get people in the mood to help with a slice of pizza. So happy to answer any questions if you have them. No? All right. Thank you. Yeah?
No, I was just looking, and then there's a report from Misha. Did I miss that? Maybe I was busy.
Oh, I didn't speak about it. I think it was overall where she is, where we're all heading. But yeah, absolutely.
I like that
Yeah.
that's in the report too, so, yeah. All right.
Okay, moving on to subcommittee updates. Excuse me, finance, anything? No, okay, thank you. Personnel? Laurel?
Oh, not personnel.
I'm sorry. Irene?
I think there's really nothing new to report at this time.
Okay. All right, and I'm sorry, and going on to nominating Laurel, thank you.
Yes, I need to get into, which I can't right now, I'm not online. Does anyone remember when their term is up? Whose
I'm
time it
sorry.
is? Whose time it is for terms up? Terms will be up. Well, here we go again. Are we doing it January to December, did we decide, or are we doing it fiscal year for our terms?
So we are with the town fiscal year.
So it's the fiscal year. I thought, maybe that was somewhere else.
The Friends
Oh, the
changed
Friends,
theirs.
that's where it
Yeah.
was. I just think, okay. So, basically, whoever it is whose term it is, it might be two people this year, actually. If you want to re-up, let me know. And if not, if you know of anyone who's interested in being on the board, we have a full board as of now. If everyone says, yes, we're still here, then there's no need to have somebody else. But if there is someone who wants to go off the board, then we will need to find a replacement and nominate that person. Oh, do you have that on you?
Maybe
I was just, when I came, I looked
at
at.
the town's
I could.
clerk,
Clerk, yeah, because
but
it's,
according to this listing, we're stable.
that's
We
why I'm saying there
don't
may be
need-
either two people, because it's a board of 7, there's 1 year that we don't have to do, and I was wondering, I will check and see. Yeah, so George replaced Marie, and Sharon replaced Linda. I'll go talk to
Yes.
Jen, and next time I will, but in the meantime, if everyone is, considering whoever, if there is somebody who has a term that is up and they still want to continue, let me know. And if somebody wants to not be on the board, let me know. And then we need elections. We have nominations in April, I believe. May we have, no, June we have our elections. I if there's a new person, we invite them to come to that to the meeting beforehand, so they see what they're getting into. Thank you. Yeah, because this got, oh, yeah,
Thank you.
If you get an updated list from
I will
the
send you
town
one.
clerk, will you send me a copy?
yes, definitely.
please?
Because I was going to look, and I thought, I can't get on internet here, no matter what I'm doing. I don't know why I brought my computer. So,
Laurel, may I suggest, and
Yes.
see what you think about this, I know that George is not here today, but actually coming up with, well, planning a meeting. Alyssa's given us some great pieces to use. Wrong word, I'm having trouble pulling them out. Some great charts, okay? One of them focused on what are their strengths, what are our strengths
yes,
now?
yes,
Okay, and then what will we be looking for? Where do we kind of see we might need
Right.
to? And, you know, again, we don't, you know, there may be no openings, but to be proactive, so
Right,
when
and I
when
mean-
we're ready to go.
That being said, I mean, traditionally, if everyone who's on the board wants to stay on the board, we've done that. Unless, so you can only serve 2 terms.
Right.
So then there may be an opening. I need to find out from Jen. I was not prepared to do this now. I thought April would be the time next meeting, we would be discussing this.
And I understand that.
Then I
You
saw it
never-
on the-
you- Right, you never know, if someone's, gets ill, not able to continue, so I'm thinking
Exactly.
proactively.
Right, right.
That we sit down, look at our strengths, and what we might need in the future.
Yep, okay.
Okay, so, I don't know if you want to set that up, as ad hoc, I can set that up.
Yeah, well, there was somebody else on the nominating committee.
George.
Oh, George, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure because, yeah. Yeah, so I will check with Jen about that.
Okay.
What does the town have, and, because somehow it got very mixed up at one point, and,
Because we were, the nominating committee was finding members to fill in for members who hadn't completed their term.
right, so they filled in like a one-year term, and then they were able to, and then then we redid the bylaws, and everything has gotten.
Right.
So we will, going forward, go with what the town has. Right?
Yes.
Right, agreement? Not what we had originally,
I think you should, if it were made, yeah, make sure it aligns with what
with
you,
what the town has.
well,
yes.
but also with what you have as memory too. I mean, everybody is
Well, I mean,
inclined
I
to.
probably should be going off at this point.
I think it
Larry
says
and I,
next year.
but yeah, I think this is my last year.
So it looks as if we need
It's
to
28, it says.
get information from the town clerk and check the current bylaws and
Yep.
the secretary reports for attendance, how long the person's been attending meetings. And I think if we do a Venn diagram and look at the overlap of all of those, we'll be able to figure this out.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I feel like the minutes for that particular
Right.
meeting, right, is a good starting place to just verify our own. Because I do feel like we had maybe this conversation last year, and there was some
It was,
conflict.
yes,
Yeah.
and then when I checked with Jen, it was very different from what this was. Well, this was
Yeah, this
April
is
23.
with pencil updates,
Yes, yes.
because I don't have the latest from Jen.
Okay, so that is my homework. I will take care of it. And, I would have to get together with George as to, like, so when you're asking about this chart, about what are the strengths of each person, you want the existing people,
Right.
okay?
Right now.
That would be an opinion that George and I would have?
No.
I don't think it
That
should
wouldn't be an
That's what I was
opinion.
going to
So
say.
on the chart that I think Sharon's referring to, it's essentially an assessment that you do as an individual, or not even an assessment, but
Right, so
saying
you-
like, hey, you might not know that I have like 5 years marketing
So it would-
background. you
Right,
know?
so it would be the people, you, like Deb, would say, I have this. This is my strength that I can bring to the board. Because that's what when I first read it, it's like, well, that's one thing if we're interviewing somebody or we're looking for somebody, we need somebody who has this. It's another thing of, I'm making the assessment, or George and I are making the assessment of the people on the board that are here.
I think just it's something that I have done in the past, and that I feel like some take it for as you like or don't want to do. Yeah, it would be an individual assessment so that you collect it and be like, here as a board, here are our strengths, and so then you have a pipeline of, when there is an opening, we clearly are lacking
for this.
X, Y, or Z. Let's start thinking about who we can cultivate and start,
That, right.
preparing them to think about joining the board. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. All right, thank you.
And Laurel, you questioned, it's under other business. At a previous meeting months ago, I asked the question if we wanted to have these
Oh,
subcommittees.
well, that's what I'm saying. It's been on every report, yeah.
So what I was trying to say was, we decided at that meeting to just keep them on in case something was coming up.
Right.
So actually, with today's discussion, I'm glad we've kept this on.
Great.
But yeah, usually I say nothing yet, because it's not till March. And it's February. That's why I didn't do, my homework about that yet. But I will,
A
yeah.
decision was made to just be consistent
Yes.
about this and always keep it on.
Yes, but asking for that now, I was like, we haven't met, we haven't done anything, so, yeah.
Okay.
Just like bylaws is inactive. Okay, Friends.
All right, thank you. Time for Friends of the Council on Aging update. Larry?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Larry McElhenney. I'm president of the Friends of the Council on Aging. We are a fundraising group. All of the funds we raise goes to the benefit of programs and activities of the Council on Aging. We have two things going on right now. One is our annual fund drive. This is the time when we ask you just to donate. If you donate $10, then you become a voting member of the Friends, but we welcome certainly contributions above and beyond that. In our next newsletter, the March-April newsletter, there'll be a notice, a flyer that encourages you to join, contribute to the Friends. Our second fundraising effort is a fundraising effort. Our philosophy as a group is to, some of us have a hard time asking for a donation, so another way to collect money is to have some fun and make some money on the side. So our fundraising activity is a corned beef and cribbage tournament. This is going to be held at the Bradford Village Square Restaurant on March 12th from 4 to 7 approximately. We will be serving a delicious corned beef and cabbage dinner, followed by a abbreviated cribbage tournament. It costs $25 for the meal, includes dessert and beverage, and the cribbage tournament is entry for $20. We welcome all players of cribbage. It doesn't matter if you live in town, if you're a member of the Friends or not a member of the Friends. You could just come enjoy. Minimum of 3 games. Everyone will play, and from there we will have a bracket tournament to get down to the prize winners. We're working on prizes. But it should be a fun activity, a good chance to get out. It happens to be that Thursday is the first Thursday after daylight savings time hits, so it'll still be light when you leave at 7 o'clock. If you have not been to the Village Square Restaurant in Bradford, there is a small parking lot in back, but there is parking on street, free parking on street. We encourage people to come. It's a lot of money, $45 for both the cribbage tournament and the meal. But if you are not interested in the meal, you can just come and play cribbage for $20. And if you're not interested in cribbage, you can come out and support us with participating in the meal. And Alyssa, I did not hear, has anybody taken us up on the shoveling? No? So we have, I'm sure, some more snowstorms left this year, and the Friends have trying to encourage participation, shoveling out your neighbors who might need a hand this time of year is important for our older population to be able to get out and enjoy the activities and services from the Council on Aging. So, any questions about that? Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Okay, any other business? Nope. Okay. All right, moving on to the initial community assessment survey indications. And I have to say, I cheered when I saw it on Facebook yesterday that we actually went over 500.
Yes.
And having, Alyssa's going to say.
I know, I was just going to say yes, absolutely, I agree.
But also, too, listening to, I did watch the town meeting committee meeting, and they only received 120 responses to their survey. So it says a lot, and I know there are some variables in there too, but it says a lot about our older population and how engaged and invested they are. And I know it's not all of 2,000, but, you know, it's a good representation.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when we got close to 500, people seemed really motivated to want to help us get there. So it seemed doable almost for people. People that were on the reserve were like, and I was like, we're almost, we have 25 more to go. And they'd be like, okay. So really, really appreciate the full community support, and people outside of the COA that were able to push it as well. So thank you very much for that. So at the time of closing, which was Monday, we had 504 completed responses. I will say, as you all know from doing the survey, that no question was required. So I'm not sure that every question got 504 responses. But 504 people did submit the survey, in majority completed. So it's after this meeting, I will send you the full report for those that would like to go over it at your leisure, because it is 130 pages in regards to data. A lot of really, not only just the simple answers to questions, but, people had opportunities to write comments and so forth. So with that amount of data, certainly I want to be very thoughtful in how we move forward in analyzing that. I will say that I was just going to highlight the pieces that had the most responses, as we mentioned, because not all 504 had answered every question, but the ones that had the highest level of responses were related to community experiences, so housing and transportation. There were a lot of written comments in regards to walkability and affordability and how people wish to remain here in Groveland, and by and far, most people wanted to remain, felt strongly that they wanted to stay in Groveland, and I think strongly that they wanted to stay in their homes in Groveland if possible. I think probably those three key areas, definitely had well over 400 responses to each of those. So, again, we have over 2,000 older adults, but I do think that there are really strong trends, and there's certainly plenty of opportunity for people to submit the survey. So I think this will be a good guiding light for us to make decisions in how we move forward, not only, again, for COA programming, but to to give this information to the town, you know, about sidewalks, about walkability, about housing. And I think a big one for us was, you know, about taxes. So we certainly knew taxes are way heavy on a lot of people, but there are options on about how we as a COA can advocate for different avenues of relief. And so, you know, be it deferral or means tested or, you know, other things, hopefully we will be able to take action on how to move forward with that. I did a few of the other COAs had seen our survey, had asked, you know, for copies of it. So certainly was happy to share the information along to them. You know, the questions. And someone had said, oh, we just did a tax relief program. I think they ended up doing something with a deferral over in Ipswich. And so, you know, they were excited to see it on the survey, and will certainly can be a resource for us if we decide to do anything on that. So lots of good things hopefully happening from the result of the survey. As I said, it's about 132 pages. I will send that full report to you for you to review at your leisure, but I hope to do a detailed analysis and share that back for your feedback at the next board meeting in regards to next steps and what we do with this information. But are there any questions that you have on the survey right now? Yeah.
My only question is, have we thought about a way, I know we're going to present the
Yeah.
findings to the
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
town government.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we could present it?
Yeah, so that's
Townspeople.
yes, that is so that is I think one of my goals for the year or objectives was absolutely making sure that we plan a session or a couple sessions to share it out with the community members as well. Absolutely. Yeah. So we do appreciate again everybody who took the time to do it, and so I want to make sure that we are reporting back to them.
I was wondering if anything surprised you.
I don't think anything surprised me. Again, really top level. I think always in the back of my mind, which was going to happen no matter the number, unless we got all 2,000. You know, is I'm always wondering about what about the people we didn't hear from. You know. But, you know, that is the nature of surveys, you know, and I hope that if people didn't respond to the survey, that they are still able to come to us with their questions and concerns. And just because they didn't answer doesn't mean that we can't still work on it and make it part of the work that we do. I think that was not necessarily a surprise, just sort of sunk in a little bit more. But I wonder if, you know, yeah. Yeah. But I think, you know, by and large, certainly people, you'll see in the comments, there was nothing, I didn't feel like anything negative. I think there are definitely comments to help, you know, the community, some genuine concerns. But, you know, you always wonder. I mean, it's open comments. There's something like crazy going to be said. But everyone, I think, took it really seriously. And if they had a concern, both positive or feedback that needs to be improved, it was mentioned. So really do appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. So look forward to that reading.
Just having done my own and then having helped a few people fill theirs out, I will be interested to see, because I was surprised with some of the answers.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, and I wrote them down.
Well, yeah, you know what?
It depends on where you are in life.
It depends on where you are in your life, and it is really your own perspective. I will say it's clear that we should have worded something differently, because I know for a fact, and again, I don't know how many people, but there was a question in there about, do you use the COA services? And many people said no, which granted, by and large, most older adults aren't using us. I hear that. But I know that there are some people that turned in the survey the ad. But that still tells us something, right? That they see it in the different light, that maybe they're coming for programming for a luncheon, but don't necessarily
That's not a
see us.
service.
Yeah.
It's a program, not a
So,
service.
yeah,
Right, I'm
yeah.
not using the van. or the-
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, yeah.
In retrospect, that's,
Yeah. So I think we did try to answer or give the question differently, but it's always learning, right? So, awesome. Thank you all so much though for your help in making phone calls and going door to door and making those connections with people. So definitely could not have done it without you. So appreciate it.
I'd be interested to see, because I did not do my follow-up calls like the third time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do it, like, if those people actually ever did.
Yeah.
And because I did highly suggest they put their names on so they wouldn't get another phone call from me. And then it was like, well, I don't know if they did it,
Yeah.
so to give me my third phone call,
Yeah.
So,
I appreciate the follow-up though. Thank you.
anyway,
Okay.
it's interesting calling them too, calling people.
Right.
And just, I don't have to fill it out. Yes, you do. If you care about, what's happening, maybe you don't need it now, but
Yeah.
think of yourself in 10 years from now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that was something surprising too, was the sidewalks. Is that there was either you love, there's no problem whatsoever, or there were answers of, it's terrible. There wasn't too much in between. It was and then so then I'm wondering, are the people that love them because they use them or don't use them, or,
Right.
there's a lot to look at.
All right, thank you. All right, next on the agenda is discussion of the COA board goals, Pillars 2. Board members share information learned from a training, professional development opportunity, or informational resource since July 2025, and also Pillar 3, progress of welcoming package. Anyone want to volunteer, want to start to share information from what they might have learned? Okay, Deb, thank you.
so I attended online one of the programs that Alyssa had sent out information on from the American Society on Aging on federal policy and unintended consequences. It was very, very interesting. If anyone wants me to, I have I have the video of it, the recording of it. If anyone wants it, let me know. I'd be happy to email you the link. It was very interesting. As you can see, I took copious notes, but just a couple of things. One of the things that I liked, and I'd recommend anyone listen to this, I liked the demeanor of the conversation. It was very focused on finding common ground as opposed to political divisiveness, because these were about federal policy. And it was I thought that was very good. I thought that was very positive. I don't think anyone, regardless of their political persuasion, would have been offended by anything that was said in this. It was factual. Just a few of the statistics that I found interesting. This is from 2024 data. 27 million older households, 27 million in the United States struggle financially. 15 million of those households have zero reportable assets, which basically means they have no home, they have no stock, they have no mutual, they have whatever they're getting. 50% of people 60 and over do not have sufficient income to cover their basic needs. Half of the people that are 60 or over in this country do not, and that's basic needs. 2/3 of the people in the United States of older adults, would not be able to afford 2 years of in-home care. 25% of adults with dementia live at home and have family caregivers. So one of the things that they were this was really on federal policy, and it was mostly in response to the One Big Beautiful Bill. talking about Medicaid changes, SNAP changes, and the unintended consequences. And one of the big things that I thought I liked about this was, it was really talking about the importance of having people with lived experience involved in policymaking. You know, and it made me think, you know, these bills get created, but where is the input? You know, are the inputs coming from medical staff? Are the inputs coming from family caregivers? So it was I thought it was very interesting. It basically, just not to take too much time, the biggest concerns they had with administrative changes to Medicaid and SNAP were asset limits, the benefits cliff, where if your benefits go up slightly, or your income goes up slightly, you lose your benefits. So then you're behind of where you were. The other thing is the increased bureaucratic administrative burdens, you know, some of which have since been reversed. I mean, you know, originally there was talk about having to physically go into a Social Security office. So a lot of things like that. It stressed the fact that these were unintended consequences for older adults, that it hadn't necessarily been thought through. And what it was stressing was the need, again, to have people with lived experience involved in policymaking so that you could avoid some unintended consequences like that. Again, I just took lots of notes. But it did say, one of the ways that it ended, I think, was kind of well, let me step back a second. Housing and healthcare are the two big drivers in financial stress for older adults. It quoted a survey, and I can't remember which organization actually did the survey, that basically presented ideas of how to address some of these issues, and the survey was across the whole range of the political spectrum, a very wide demographic. There were 3 ideas that were non-Social Security ideas, so no changes in Social Security, that received more than 90% support across the political spectrum. One was tax breaks for family caregivers to cover out-of-pocket expenses. National 12 weeks paid leave for seriously ill family members. Some states have that, not every state does. And some form of payment towards long-term care. It did say at the end that, on a hopeful note, that they found widespread bipartisan support for protecting vulnerable older adults. And that was really their point, was to, you know, reach out to legislators, make sure that people are educated about unintended, you know, consequences. It sounds great to say we're going to get rid of Medicaid fraud, but what does that mean? You know, what does it actually do when you put those, you know, like shorter requirements, like you have to re-up for your SNAP benefits or whatever every 6 months instead of 36 months? Does it really cut down on fraud, or does it just make people fall through the safety net? So it wasn't it wasn't negative, and it was really just make sure you understand. So I found it very, very educational.
Would you
Thoroughly
send that to me?
Would you like that? Sure.
I would definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I would like
I will
that.
send the link. I just found it fascinating.
Wow.
Good training.
There is a lobby day. I think it happens, I want to say in the fall, but let me double check the date. But there is a lobby day specifically for older adults. So when that does come up again, I'll be sure to send it your way if you're interested.
I'd like to go next because I would like to piggyback on the phrase unintended consequences. I signed up to watch a Zoom that was titled "The Art That Tackles Ageism in Long-Term Care." And I didn't realize, I should have watched a 3-part docuseries before watching the Zoom. But I think most of us can probably watch it. I just asked my TV, No Country for Old People, which is the title of this 3-part docuseries. And actually, I watched the first one and said, okay, I can't just watch the second and third ones now because there's so many unintended consequences that came up in the first one. It's a woman, Susie Singer Carter, who is reporting on the long-term care that was given and not given to her mother. It's very powerful, it's very humbling. No Country for Old People. Yeah. And also, Unintended Consequences connects with a book that I read and I wanted to recommend to people. It's written by Emma Hemming Willis. If the name Willis sounds familiar, it's
Yeah, Bruce
because
Willis.
this is
Bruce
Bruce
Willis.
Willis's
Yeah.
wife. And when Bruce was diagnosed with dementia, she really went on a physical, emotional, mental journey, and is sharing her experiences in her book, Finding Strength, Hope, and Success on the Caregiving Path. I listen to it because she reads it in her voice, which I think adds authenticity to it. So it's Emma Hemming Willis. It is rich in resources because as she went through this journey, she really paid attention to the resources that were there to help and support her. And so the book is really a treasure chest of resources on which people can rely or connect with. And I want to end on a powerful note. I listened to a book, again, read by the author, The Art of Making Memories, because I felt it had a connection with dementia and having the experience of listening to my mother-in-law who was diagnosed with dementia and how she would bring up memories. And so much of what Meek Viking, I'm not really sure, he's a Scandinavian researcher, the whole point of his book is memories are the treasure trove of our lives, and retelling the stories of happy memories is good for your health in all ways.
Good. Good takeaway.
I think those sound like they could be a book club
They
books.
could.
Yeah,
They certainly
Yeah, that
could.
would be great.
Yeah.
Might need to bring that back.
I did nothing this month because I was away. Sorry.
All right.
Oh, wait, I went, I did, oh, that was January. Never mind. Did the
Well,
trivia lunch.
Anything from last July?
Oh, you
July
mean,
2025.
well, I already reported last time on the
Oh.
preparing for caring, because I thought we were going to do it monthly, not like since July. That was my trainings and informational programs, the Lunch and Learn on nutrition. The rest have just been kind of programs I've attended and been like an ambassador. Wore my little badge. I have to do more, yeah.
My big takeaway is more on a local level, and I'd like to pass these around. I attended a program here, and it was called Grab and Go. And the gentleman came in and passed out a list of things. The idea is that every person in every household, it's one bag per person, that you have a bag all prepared and ready to go, should you have to leave your home in case of any type of an emergency, whether you had to leave because of, damage to your home or long-term loss of electricity, for any reason you had to suddenly and quickly leave your home. And this is a list of things that they suggest that everyone have a bag ready to pick up and go. And he kind of compared it to when you're expecting a baby, you've got that suitcase all packed and ready to go to the hospital. So that type of idea, packed and ready to go. And it was everything in there that you would need if you had to be away even for 24 hours or 2 weeks. And there's things like, your address book, checkbook and cash, spare eyeglasses, hearing aid batteries, a toothbrush, flashlight, clothing, a prepaid phone card in case you couldn't, you access your cell phone, clothes, your phone chargers, your medication, not in brown bottles that have your name and address on them that everybody else could see if you were in a facility. Mask, thumb drive if you needed to be away for a long time, they have, your medical information. And then there was also a list of emergency contacts, car insurance, bank information, that there's just a wealth of information here that to have available in this bag. And the reason that I found that really beneficial was this is not just for older adults. This type of a situation can happen to anyone. So this is like almost more like as well as an older adult benefit, a community benefit that everyone in our community could benefit from being aware of this and working on it. I don't have my bag fully ready yet, but one other thing that he touched on was the file of life, thank you. I did not even know that existed, and he had that there, and they are available at the fire station and here in the Council on Aging office. And that I filled out. It's a piece of paper folded up inside a magnetized pouch that you put on your refrigerator. And it's, I guess, the first thing that first responders look for when they come into your home, if you've called for any type of a first responder, ambulance, police, fire. And that has in it your name, your medical information, because as they said, when you have to call a first responder and they come into your home, you're not thinking straight. You're focusing on what the issue is. Well, what medications are you on? Oh, gosh, I don't know. Or I can't remember the dosage, and you might forget something. It's got your blood type, it's got your contact information. So mine's all filled out and on the fridge, and I thought that was a great takeaway from the program that I knew nothing about in advance. And again, these are things that, yes, they do naturally benefit older adults, but they benefit everyone of every age. So it's more like a community outreach to be aware of these things.
Awesome. I have a feeling Irene's going to go get a file
Get
of life to show you. Really great feedback. Thank you so much for the programs. Here we go.
Here she comes.
Right.
Oh, thank you, I already have two, but thank you.
No, it's so you can show.
Oh,
I'll
and
take one.
that they're available.
oh, thank you, yep, so.
In Nisha's office.
This is what it looks like, file of life, this little card that folds up and puts in here your medical conditions. Do you have a DNR? What is your blood type?
No.
Your medical problems, medical data, emergency contacts. Yes, so it's got that information on it, and it's called the file of life.
I'll take one.
Right.
There you go.
But don't put it next to my computer because it's got magnets. I learned.
Okay, my turn, I guess. I watched a video put out by AARP. I like them. I like their videos because they're short and concise. And for me, the one I watched was 5 Things to Know About Loneliness. And in viewing that, I'm prompted to read more about loneliness. But the 5 things were effects on health. Again, I didn't know these facts. I'm sure that some people do and some don't, but 31% greater risk of developing dementia. 50% for adults over 50 who experience loneliness and social isolation. So effects on health, and that was from the 2024 analysis in the Journal of Nature Mental Health. The physical toll, 29% increased risk for heart disease. 32% increased risk for stroke according to 16 studies, more likely to get diabetes and have complications from the diabetes. The third one was weakened immune system. You're more susceptible to infection. If you're exposed to some kind of a disease, you're most likely to get sick. And it was interesting, this one, if you had 6 social roles in your life, like you were a mother, a grandmother, a church member, there were like any kind of role, you were less likely to have be impacted. So I thought that was really interesting. All those connections is 6. If you had less than 3, then you were at risk for, for contracting diseases. 4 was small steps, and these was an advisory from Surgeon General. I couldn't figure out which Surgeon General.
Or the previous one, not the current one,
Right.
but
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And recommending walking and smiling at someone. So not just out there by yourself, but if you come upon somebody, smiling. Contact a friend or family member every day. Join a hobby where people are involved, because you can have a very, your own interest hobby and you do it yourself, but become involved in one that you have contact with people. Spend less time on activities that make you feel disconnected. And for example, that would be social media. Mhm. Yeah. And I just heard, this is for children, but I just heard on the radio coming in, I'm so bad, my memory is so bad right now, but there is something in the works for limiting, some kind of legislation. Yes, because social media, you can become addicted.
Yeah.
And it is an addiction. And so legislating and, making companies accountable. And then the last is ARP is backing Improvement for Loneliness and Isolation Act. So this will lead me to exploring any number of things, but, also looking at what we do and what we provide, all those connections, and even more as time goes on are so important.
Yeah, I wish there was another way, and certainly if I write my reports, I could do it differently. But how we say essential services for food, for housing, for heating, those are essential services, but so is coming to game day once a week and having that social connection is absolutely the same essential health and well-being effect on your body. So yeah, I think everything we do is really essential and beneficial for people. So really, really thank you all so much for your service.
One of
Thank
the
you.
reasons I was so glad to see the men's group nutrition,
Yeah.
Yes.
because I think many of the medical results of loneliness are tied to your eating. Because if you're lonely, you're going to sit there and you're going to grab you're not going to have a meal. You're not going to, you're just going to grab and you're going to eat easy things that aren't that healthy. And so I think that ties in even,
Yeah. Which was a really phenomenal event for those that came. It was Wingate did a full-on cooking demonstration here. It was very good.
great.
Yeah.
And I think we just, need to try and keep thinking a little bit outside the box of
Yeah.
what different, how we can do that.
Yeah.
Can we partner with other organizations to address and make more social connections?
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Thank you.
All right. And Pillar 3 progress, welcoming packet.
Oh, yes, we did have a meeting on that. The subcommittee with Irene, Sharon, myself, and Linda Workman. And so we, with Alyssa's help as well, she popped in, coming up with a to-do list of things to have in a welcome packet for new board members. It includes things like a welcome letter that, of course, includes the mission statement, roles and expectations, legal and ethical forms, like the conflict of interest and all of the ethical and legal forms that you have to know about, and the online training that you have to do and sign off on every 2 years. A financial overview so that people understand where the funds come from, grants, revolving, general fund donations, including a copy of the last director's report, including a copy of the wonderful engagement newsletter, copies of bylaws, personal contact info being names and addresses of all the board members as well as the Friends contact, brochures about the Council on Aging, which are available, and a list of all the acronyms. What does NEAT mean? What does, all the, what does COA mean? That type of thing. So we will have another meeting. A lot of these are already checked off, and we're working on the ones that aren't. How the whole process works, the letter of intent, select board swears you in, having to do the ethics training. And so the goal is to have all of these things put in binders with tabs and have available to every current board member as well as some available to give out to new board members or even, potential board members to take a look at. So it was a very successful meeting, and we made some progress, and we'll continue to work on it.
Great. One of the, I came across again, I think it was in Gary's article, was one we might want to consider putting in is also the committees, because, it will be expected that you would be on a committee.
It's a subcommittee.
And the charges for that she made the point that oftentimes, you just list the committees, and certainly in the bylaws, we know.
Right.
But more specifically, what the charge is, beyond what's in the bylaws, the actual nitty-gritty.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've heard on other community members say is that they wish they knew in general, like how much time commitment, what does the actual work look like for things? Yeah, I like that idea.
All right, any other comments or discussion? Okay. May I have a motion?
I'm sorry, can I make a last public call? I forgot to mention it. I put a written at my. So in April for Earth Day, we are doing a Plarn art workshop. So Plarn, if you aren't familiar, and if somebody knows better, please jump in. You take plastic bags, so it could be a market basket bag, it could be the bag that your bread comes in, or anything like that, and you do something to it, and you make it. What do you do?
You cut it and make long strips.
Okay,
And it's
so you-
together, and you're making yarn.
Yeah, so you're making yarn from these plastic bags. So we have that workshop on Tuesday. I think it's the third Tuesday in March. So one, definitely sign up if you're interested. This is in partnership with the library. Evangeline is going to come and do the workshop with us. However, I suspect that we are going to need many plastic bags. So if the community has plastic bags that you are would like to get rid of, and we could make some art out of it, we would love to do so. So let us know. You can drop them off at the COA. Thank you.
It's gonna be fun.
Was it any particular kind of plastic bag that is allowed or not allowed?
I think, no, we will take them all. I think Evangeline mentioned multiple colors would be nice. So, yeah.
All right, that sounds like fun. Okay. All right, may I have a motion? Oh, sorry, Irene.
So for the next meeting, focus areas will include a deeper dive into the survey results. Is there anything more?
Well, I'll update the nominating,
Yeah.
but that will be part of the nominating.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe ask Linda and George if they would like to share something?
For their pillars,
Yeah,
or if we have anything more.
or if we have anything more? Okay. Thank you.
May I have a motion to close the meeting at 10:45?
Make a motion?
Second.
Okay.
One and two.
Okay, all in
Yeah,
favor?
two and one.
All right.
I just sent you something, because I had